Alright guys, so some quick stuff about the Pixel 7 Pro over my Pixel 6 since I've used it for a whole work shift now. Woo! I did a work from home so I could sign for this. Um, and something here. Fingerprint reader on here has worked every single time. It's like twice as fast too. I'll see if I can do a drag race once Mooski stops over. There was not a single time side by side that the Pixel 7 Pro lost. And it's like it's opened before the Pixel 6 is like reading your finger even. So crazy good there. The other thing is the speakers on here. The speakers on the Pixel 6, in my opinion, were worse than the Pixel 5, and especially the 3, because the 3 had dual front facing. This thing sounds like it actually has actual low end, um, and I want to say at like half to maybe three-quarter volume, it's as loud or already louder than the Pixel 6 at almost max volume. Because Pixel 6, that last step or two, you don't really want to use. Um, but I find myself even just walking around the house, like listening to quick YouTube videos. Those in the Pixel 6 have to be done at near maximum volume, whereas on here, half or less on the Pixel 7 Pro. So that's a huge improvement. I know a lot of people are like, speakers on a phone doesn't matter. It's something I noticed when it got worse. I guess that would be a explanation there. And something else I found out, I have to get my design made hopefully this weekend. Um, Rhino Shield will allow you to pre-order cases for the Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro, and custom ones with your own design. I'm not sponsored by them, but I've run cases from them since. Oof, we had a bad experience with OtterBox with their support, and then buying a new one as well the following time for I want to say the Galaxy S4. So that should tell you about how long it's been. Um, I got a bumper for my S4, or no S7. I want to say, yeah, S7. Um, but yeah, after the S4, Otter Shield kind of had a bad taste in our mouths here, just due to how they handled the support. Kept telling us we were wrong. When in the end, a lot of that was actually related to their product photographer not using the correct white balance, and I proved it. Get effed. It feels good to be right on some of this stuff. Uh, you know, that's how I ended up with the yellow phone case though, because I kept trying to buy the red and black one, and they kept sending me pink and black. So with how they handled that and some other stuff, we ended up switching and found Rhino Shield because they made bumpers. They were one of the few to do that. Sadly, it seems to be making less and less of those unless you have an iPhone. I have one on my iPhone SE. But even with just the bumper, um, there hasn't been a fall it hasn't taken. I mean, unless you're dropping it, I think they're rated for like 10 or 12 feet or something for the bumper and more for the case. Um, Check them out. Like I said, they do custom ones on the back if you want that. Uh, I think it's a cool night and a nice touch you can add to your case that really personalizes it. If you need help creating that, hit me up on our Discord. It's tex.cx/discord, and I can hang out and help you. You are gonna need like Photoshop or GIMP to really get it to fit, because there isn't much adjustment in their software on the web. Like if it fits and you want to move it down, you're gonna want to go put it into GIMP and move it down or Photoshop. Um, I've talked to them about this before. It's gotten a little bit better to the point where when I resubmitted something for a warranty claim, only $4 to replace it with a lifetime warranty. I thought that was amazing. I didn't even know they had that sort of thing. Um, I actually had to realign my photo since the system had changed. So I've been picking up one of those, but yeah, just normal day to day things on here. Oh, I got to use the macro photography mode. It is only auto toggleable. You can't manually force it, to my knowledge. You can turn it off with auto, kind of like how Night Sight works. Night sight, by the way, works even cooler now. It actually has a countdown timer, and you can actually adjust the timer. Like I just set it to max. But say you're going out night drinking, and you know you're going to be a little less stable, or you're not going to be willing to wait for the photo. You can keep night sight on, but turn it down to the minimum amount of time required to still shoot night sight. Like that might be a second instead of 2, 4, 6, 8, etc. I just leave it on max for now. I haven't really played around with it, but you know, if I knew I was doing that, first when I took in a dark setting and night sight popped up, I would limit that down to whatever the minimum is, because you're less likely to get a shaky shot, and you still get that benefit of that at least slightly longer exposure. So really cool features there. Still battling, for those that have heard about it, my Google Photos backup thing where it says I don't have enough storage when I do. Um, I think I've tied this down to videos. I had it working after deleting everything that since it started having issues, it was working again until I shot a video on the old Pixel 6. Then it was like, oh, you're out of storage. And I have like 70, 80 gigs free, so I'm not. But we have King Arthur here. Yo, what's up, King? And it's gonna be time to go to sleep. Um, yeah. Keep an eye out, guys. Oh, he just landed right on the Pixel 7 Pro. Keep an eye out. I do the Pixel Watch on order as well, and I'll take a look at that when it comes in. I think that's a little delayed, and my watch band has got delayed even more. Will hopefully be here by the end of the month. I bought the stretchy one without the clasp because I think I might be able to use that well at a keyboard. So I use a wrist rest, and that buckle on the watch really just gets in the way to the point where I take it off and don't even use it. So I'm thinking the stretchy band might be kind of the best. I've seen people do that with the iPhone, and the Pixel Watch seems to be similar. Um, Please let me know down below in the comments too. Like, what do you want to see from the Pixel 7 Pro? Like, what kind of stuff do you want me to comment on? First thing I did out of the box is change it to 1440p as it comes in 1080p. Why give me the higher resolution screen if you're not going to enable it? I'm going to use that hardware if I get it. What are we at after doing all this stuff today? 53%. I charged it up before I did the transfer, so that's like pretty good. Obviously, I've been shooting videos on the Pixel 6 and have already had to charge it up once. I feel like the Pixel 6 has been one of my worst battery life phones, and that's coming from the 5, which was one of my best. So here's to hoping. The 7 Pro is quite a bit better there. Got really annoying to, like, I get home from work sometimes and the Pixel 6 be at 20%, which on the Android 13 is now the low battery warning. And you can turn off the battery saver. I usually leave it off unless I want to get on a trip or driving someplace, because then I might need that battery. But usually when I'm around the home, I'll just plug it in. But it would suck. Like, I come home from work, you gotta plug it in so you can even use it. Rather annoying if you ask me. So, yeah. Please let me know what you guys want to see. So far, I'm liking it. I don't have a case for it, so it's hard to compare. It's really not that much bigger than the 6, though. And I know the 7 went down a little bit, but it's still a big phone. Like, compared to the 5, which was the exact same size as a 3, I think that's more of an optimal size, personally. So that's why I said, screw it. It's already too big. Might as well go bigger. Not necessarily happy about it, but I am happy about the additional features. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with that macro mode. Alright, guys. Well, hopefully this little unboxing and follow-up video after I only have a fraction of the thing set up was useful. And we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.